Asus is all about camera technology recently. We have reviewed the Asus Zenfone Selfie a few months back. We have also just seen the Asus Zenfone Zoom, which has a whopping 3 times optical zoom on an ultra-thin body. But before we head to that, let us first take a look at the Asus Zenfone 2 Laser 6.0, a more snap-shooter-centric version of the already renowned Zenfone 2 lineup. The Zenfone 2 Laser looks exactly identical with not only its predecessors, but also with almost all of the Zenfone devices. For starters, we still have the ergonomic arc design. A curve at the back makes it deceptively thin, so the internals are uncompromised. Plus, it makes the bulky device easy to hold despite the fact. We do commend Asus for doing such, as we have seen other companies slim down the battery just to achieve some nonsense thinness. However, the device still feels huge in general. This enormous device is a hassle to store inside a pocket, as it really gives a big hump. There's also some noticeable heft to it when compared to other similar devices. The hurdle on the device's comfort when in use are all the result of its large 6-inch display. If media consumption is top priority, the large screen real estate can really hit the spot. On the bright side, the Zenfone 2 Laser is probably the sleekest 6-inch device that we got our hands on, with its 71% screen-to-body ratio. The bezels are thinner than usual, thus there's no room that went to waste. But if it is still large for you, you can utilize the one-hand feature for ease of use. This large 6-inch IPS display has a resolution of 1080 by 1920, which has a 367 pixels per inch, all covered by Corning Gorilla Glass 4, which is probably the best glass in the industry today. The display surely isn't the sharpest of all, considering the existence of smartphones with 1440p and 4K displays. But nonetheless, the screen on this thing still delivers impressive performance for the price. Colors are beautiful, blocks are deep enough, and text are visible even when zoomed out. However, screen brightness is a little bit lacking, which makes sunlight and outer visibility challenging. The ginormous display is also perfect for multitasking, and especially gaming. With its large 3GB of RAM, a powerful Snapdragon 616 octa-core processor, and an Adreno 405 GPU, you can switch between applications without breaking a sweat. However, with a screen and RAM capacity this large, a multi-window feature could have been very nice. But Asus didn't include that built-in feature in its clunky interface. On the other hand, processing performance have been impressive. Game titles like Mortal Kombat and Asphalt 8 ran seamlessly with barely visible frame drops. However, a simulator game called Roller Coaster Tycoon shows some stutters, which is probably due to the tiny elements and AIs that the processor needs to pop it. Overheating is not much of an issue. It sure does increase in temperature, but not too disturbingly hot. This is one of the benefits of using plastic, other than, of course, making the device lightweight. And since we're at the back, let's talk about these speakers. The device's website brags that it has a dual driver audio chamber, 5 magnet construction, and metal voice coil. And we have no idea what type of rocket science that is, but all we know is that there are 2 actual speakers inside it, and it delivers loud and well-balanced sound. You can actually hear the bass without it overpowering the trebles or highs. Another thing to like about this thing is its 4G LTE connectivity, Wi-Fi BGN, and Bluetooth 4.1. Wireless networks perform well, however, it will now depend on your unreliable ISPs. There's also a large 3000 mAh battery that is packed in, but considering all of the enormous hardware that this thing has to power, you can actually expect an average battery test results. Screen on time did pass our 4-hour passing mark, while light to moderate usage lasted the device for a good 8 to 10 hours. The device can surely last you a day and would require a good 2 hours of recharging to go back to 100%. Now, to the main event. The laser branding in some of Asus's products translates to a phone that is a camera-centric. These devices sport a technology that uses laser for an ultra-fast autofocusing, which, in my testing, did delivered as advertised. However, it is really hard to see the difference between this technology and the standard non-laser autofocusing system that we see in most devices. Quality-wise, the 13 megapixel camera can take unsurprisingly impressive photos. Color reproduction is fairly accurate, sick dynamic range with good contrast ratio. Sharpness is also on point. However, zooming in a little reveals some minor software over-sharpening, which is almost a lot of manufacturers are guilty of doing so. The Zenfone Laser 6.0 isn't safe from the hurdles of shooting in low-light scenarios. However, it still managed to get away with it impressively. This is possibly one of the best low-light performers I have seen in a while. Noise and grains aren't as aggressive as what I would have expected. Colors maintain majority of its quality. Overall, a pretty usable photo. Now let us proceed to the things that I hate about this device. Things that have been consistent with every Zenfone review that I had. First, the annoyingly positioned buttons. The lock or power switch is stationed way up high at the top, which makes it hard to reach and tiring to use. The volume controls at the back, despite being easy to reach, is a bit hard to press. However, there are some on-screen gestures to use as an alternative when pressing these buttons, but still, it is not an excuse. Lastly, the Zen UI is still probably the heaviest and the clunkiest interface I have seen. We have seen TouchWiz learned its lesson and evolved, and we are expecting the same thing from Asus. There are tons of bloatwares that are bombarding the update page on the Play Store when you set up the device. Some are actually pretty useful, while some are not. It's actually a hate or love it situation. So, that's the Asus Zenfone 2 Laser 6.0. You can argue that the Laser 6.0 is really pricey for its $11,995 price tag, but for what it delivers, it is hard to complain. The cons are really overshadowed by the pros, and it looks like we're just nitpicking, but actually, we're not. The Laser 6.0 is near perfection, if only Asus learned their lesson. But nevertheless, the Asus Zenfone 2 Laser 6.0 is a superb device for what it's worth. For all you media and multitasking junkies out there, you might want to consider this. This has been NoypiGeeks' review of the Asus Zenfone 2 Laser 6.0. For a more detailed look about this device, check out the full written review linked below. You can also hit the thumbs up button and share this video if you liked it, and also subscribe if you still haven't. Thank you for watching.